I think it makes more sense to go with an at-large system.
Well, what would be wrong with a mixed system as a compromise?
Complexity, added expense,
Well,
more, just a lot more machinations that we have to go through. We have to, obviously rewrite some ordinances.
There's a couple people, but,
I mean-
at the time where only one person runs, so it's uncontested, and you can't do that. The other piece of it is when you have 8 people sign up for it, then you have a primary for one ward, and you have the cost of a primary election that comes into play. I can't remember exactly where the line is that they have to have the primary, but that happens all the time in ward systems. It almost is almost always a primary run-up, so there's a cost that goes into that. There's 2 different campaign seasons. It really does, Steve hit it on the nail. It complicates a simple matter, in my opinion.
You can...
When it's not necessary, because representation's there. I haven't been here long, but at 2.5 years, I've not had someone come up to me and say, I wish there was a ward system because my vote's never heard. That's just simply not been anything I've gotten from feedback. I haven't campaigned on it. I haven't solicited those opinions, but they haven't come unsolicited either.
You can also charter out of the primary requirement and just go straight to general. That just as another option.
That's correct.
I'm fine with leaving it at large.
Okay. I think that's 4.
That's 4.
If that's 4, that's 4.
Okay.
So now we're down
That covers
to
it.
eligibility.
Qualified elector.
You know where I come down on this? And I know there's a lot of passion about this, and a lot of anger that's been expressed recently about this, but to be honest with you, qualified elector is what is out there. That is what is the legal standard. If we try to pin this on any other qualification other than qualified elector, we get ourselves in trouble. We can get ourselves in legal trouble. How do you, for example, how do you quantify ownership? How do you quantify, how many nights a week do you spend in your home or in your apartment? Some of us would have a problem satisfying some of those requirements just on this dais here because a lot of us travel. We may not spend the majority of our nights in our house. Does that mean that we're not going to be suitable elector for the for the office of council person? I think that we're going to have to keep it the way it is because I don't see any good option otherwise. I just don't.
Ryan, in your opinion, is there a stronger way to write a residency ordinance than what we have in place? Is there any proof? I mean, case law's all over the place. AG's opinion's basically been residency is too hard to establish, so I don't know how to help you.
Yeah, and I've done it. You can, where I've written strong residency policies for city employees, there are factors that you look at, and you've got a list of like 8 factors. The address that you use in your driver's license, the address that you list for, your school children's enrollment. I don't have them on the top of my head, but when you go through and you list the factors, then you can nail it down more. You're right, though. If you just leave it at residency, the law is very forgiving, basically allowing people to say, and I'm not saying whether this is good or bad, that this is the place that I intend to call as my home, as my residence, and the law generally recognizes that.
Residency is obviously hard, otherwise we wouldn't have so many people from across the country that have residences that they own in Northeast Virginia.
That is true. We have a national issue even in Kansas with that, I think.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
I agree with Steve. I think let's be frank, this is a specific situation that everybody's up in arms about.
Temporary.
And I think trying to create a policy leads you to creating bad policies if you're trying to address a specific situation.
My only thought to it is, and correct me if I'm wrong because it's a difficult thing to understand, we've chartered out of the state statute for residency and qualifications for office, correct?
Correct.
I would be in favor of at least exploring
Going back.
pulling back and going to state statute, so if the state ever comes back and says, we've actually created some better determinations, we've vetted that at the state level, then that would automatically apply to the city, and just go along with, that would be what I would support as change. Right now, it wouldn't really change any situation, I don't think, that we have currently, but it might be an easy way to do that so that we're not chartered out of what the state's doing. So when the state makes a change, then we can automatically put that change in wholesale without having to revise our charter ordinance.
And I agree with
Okay.
you, Heath, because it seems that the language that we use in Charter Ordinance 19 seems to be almost deliberately ambiguous on this. And I think that going back to the state statute, which is much simpler,
Mhm.
much more easy to understand, will help that circumstance. Just overall, I'm not talking about a specific case, because it doesn't fix that case.
I would be for that.
I could support them.
All right?
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Mm.
We've got good direction. Thank you very much.
You're
Great.
clear on that?
Very clear. Good. Thank you very much.
All right. We can get a cool drink of water?
You say.
We will get started just very shortly.
Jeff, the one,
No, I don't want Good, how are you?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Yeah, I'm just going.
already got one.
Water fair. No tiger water these days.